I am Critique Quartz. Welcome back to Lady Arcaders Presents Attract Mode. Again, we had Miss Scarlet running Fatal Frame 3, Tormented. And up next, we have another dark horror treat for you. Okapi is running Detention. Whenever you are ready, Okapi, please take it away.
Well, it's that time again, I suppose. We're gonna go and play something that I don't normally play for a change. I'm Okapi. This is Detention. And Critique is still here doing
I am!
commentary. So yeah, before we get started, we are on 18 plus mode, but like big content warning, this game goes to some very dark and relatable places. There's some very frank depictions of unaliving oneself, domestic violence, problematic teacher-student relationships. It gets pretty wild. But most importantly, it's school time. So,
It's also a very heavily political game, like a lot of Red Candle games are.
yeah. So we'll kind of touch base on stuff a little bit as we go through it. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, and off we go.
This is Glitchless 80%, by the way. And we start in class.
Yeah, as any good school game does. So, a backstory setting here. This is 1960s Taiwan during a real historical period known as the White Terror, which was a period of martial law and extreme civil unrest in the middle of the Cold War. There was a lot of really sketchy stuff going on, as one could imagine, in that sort of highly unstable political environment. And of course, like every unstable political environment, we are blaming the commies. So everything is very pinned on that. So that cutscene, there's not really anything we can do. We just kind of have to chill through it, and we still just have to chill. It's gonna kind of progress itself for right now. Eventually, I can start mashing through text, but not right now. This is Wei. Wei is falling asleep in school and wakes up in the middle of a typhoon, which seems very irresponsible by the faculty, but I don't even go here, so... Alright, so this is a point-and-click adventure game. So most of our... There's not really much speed text, so to speak. It's all going to be routing and clicking on the right thing at the earliest possible time, which makes it a very easy speed game to learn. If you like routing the game, then that's basically this game. So we have to figure out what's going on and try to get out of the school, because it is a typhoon and we don't want to be here. And we're locked in because the storm door is rolled down, so we need to pick up this crank, and that's going to let us open that roll door and try to get a little further out of the school. So, crack this open, drag our crank up there, and Wei is going to roll up the door.
Very classic survival horror with the crank handle.
Yeah. And I noticed too, like, there's a lot of sound design that's very reminiscent of the older Resident Evil games. When we go into the auditorium here, you'll kind of hear a little door sound effect, very reminiscent of classic RE.
The presentation of this game is absolutely stunning. It's a very unique art style, and it is used to maximum effect.
There's that Resident Evil door. So yeah, we're in the auditorium now. That's our other character, Ray. She's doing a little snooze on the stage. We'll deal with her in a minute. We need to wake her up so that we can get out. But she's not going to leave without her beloved white jade deer pendant, which is here in this fan for reasons that I don't fully know the purpose of. So we're going to dig that out before we wake her up because it saves a little bit of time. And let's go wake her up. Oh my gosh, go on stage, Way.
I missed my chance to talk about it, but the storage room, the first time you enter when the lights are off, the rubber suit looks like somebody's body is hanging there, and you turn on the lights and
Yeah,
it's
it's
just a
just a rubber
suit.
suit.
Um,
Yeah, now Ray is having a normal one about her necklace, but we'll give it to her as soon as she gets off the chair. If we can give it to her on the chair, but if we miss, then we lose a little bit of time because Way's like, that doesn't do anything. It's like, yeah, why would it? You're giving a necklace to a chair, my guy. But yeah, they're kind of talking. Like, they decide maybe we should get the heck out of here. Because,
yeah,
it's a typhoon and we're at school and there's no one else here. That's kind of not great.
I'm
So
not.
now we're kind of stuck in cutscenes for a while after
Yeah,
this.
I wasn't quite sure on Typhoon Protocol. I assumed it would be stay in place.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who live in the Western Hemisphere, a typhoon is a hurricane that exists in Asia. Like, you don't want to go moving around in the middle of a typhoon. It's not great. So yeah, there's only one way in and out of the school. This bridge, it's collapsed. That river looks pretty questionable. Looks kind of like blood. So like, what could it be? That's not blood. There's factories upstream. They're just dumping all their chemicals into the river. That seems like a thing that could be happening. Like we're already in the bargaining stage.
Anything to make sense of the situation, really.
Exactly, yeah.
So back to the classroom they go.
Yeah, we're just gonna stay the night here. And now Ray finally introduces herself, but we knew it was Ray. And we know the other guy is Way, because I told you. But yeah, she's a senior, he is underclassman. She's getting ready to graduate. And he's just kind of, living his boring student life and envious of her for being about to get out of here. He's gonna go and look for supplies. Being all chivalrous, and Ray is not having any of that because she's a strong, independent woman who can take care of herself. But, Ray is just trying to be a gentleman. So we're gonna go look for stuff and, well, alright then.
It's fine. nothing is bad.
Disturbing imagery warning for the next 15 seconds or so. Whenever the text disappears. Okay, here we go.
I will tell you when it's safe to look back. You can look back at the screen now.
Yeah, so slightly less disturbing imagery.
Still disturbing.
Yeah, something's happened to Way. Now we're doing an upside down sleep, and doesn't look like he's breathing. What's going on with him? Like, we just met this kid, and Now he's doing an unalive? That's not great. So we're gonna grab his notebook. It's on there, and we just have to get it. So, first things first, we need to get out of the auditorium, but the auditorium is now locked. It's also very dark, so we're gonna take this candle with us. And let's go get the auditorium key. So that's over here in this little shrine area. It's chilling on the shrine. So we'll go ahead and grab that real quick. There's our auditorium key. And our instructions on how to deal with the Lingered. The first of our enemies. And they make... If any of y'all remember that really creepy Korean webcomic, they make that sound and I hate it. But they're pretty harmless. Like, you just can't walk through them. You can sneak past them if they don't notice you. But they cannot keep up with you. They're kind of slow. We'll be dipping around a few more of them as we go through Chapter 1 here. We go ahead and let ourselves out of the auditorium. And we're going to go up to the restroom. If you were doing a casual playthrough, we would dip into the principal's office and we would answer that phone. But we don't need to. It's just like lore. The person on the other end of the line is kind of taunting Ray and being very vague and mysterious about what's currently going on. So we're going to dip in here. There's some fence cutting pliers in the sink here. And now we're going to do a little minor jump scare with the mirror. Ray is just kind of talking to herself, trying to, again, make sense of the situation, but... What? Oops. Excellent. Clicking on the notebook. And then we're going to come over here to this other sink. There's this single dice in there. That's part of our... part of a fetch quest puzzle that we have to do to get through this area. There's another Lingered here. It's faster to go through the classroom and just avoid it. Because the way that they move around is kind of random. There's not a lot of RNG in this game, but the little bit of RNG that there is will cause problems. So it's better just to avoid it entirely if you can. The door that we need to go to next is locked. The key is inside this this eye testy chart, Selin chart I think it's called. So we'll go ahead and grab that. We're going to grab the food offering. That's one of the ways that we can get around this Lingered. Just going to drop that on the ground. And then we'll just do a little sneaky past. Unlock the door. And we're going to go ahead and grab the second of our dice. There's 3 in total. We'll grab the last one here in a minute. Need that paint thinner to get through the door where the third dice is. And we're not going to deal with that Lingered. We can grab another food offering if we want to, because there's another Lingered that we'll have to go past a couple times, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other as to whether or not it saves enough time to make it worth picking up, because they're just so random it's hard to tell. So that Lingered is right here. As long as we hold our breath, it won't know we're here. We can hold our breath for up to 15 seconds. Just walk past, and we'll GTFO. They won't follow us very far, which is pretty handy. Use the paint thinner to open up this door that's got the protective talismans on it.
Now, why would Ray not be able to open a door with protective talismans?
Yeah, the Lingered can't open it either. I picked up a utility knife. That's gonna come in handy in a second. And then here is our third die. So we have the 3 dice that we need for that puzzle. We're going to throw them. Now, their teeth? Pardon me? I'm pretty sure those were dice when we threw them in. And then that number 623 is going to become relevant here in a few minutes. That's part of the next puzzle. We have our ceramic bowl. My personal splits are all screwed up because my visual auto splitter must have split somewhere. That's a problem for future Okapi to figure out, though. So she's like right behind this tree. It's hard to see her when she's there. We'll go ahead and get past. We can take up to 3 hits from those lingered, but we can't. I went the wrong way. I'm routing bad. Supposed to go back in the auditorium.
No.
Yep, nope.
Is there a line of sight on them, or do you walk faster than them? Oh,
we can outrun them. They aggro if you get too close to them, and they kind of do that little phase teleport thing. So, not really. She's gonna get close enough to the double doors that we can just run in without dealing with her. Alright, so we got this bowl, and we got this knife, and we have our dead friend Wei. So we're gonna do a little bloodletting, and we're gonna gather up some of his life juice, because on the 3rd floor there is a desk that we have to take a print off of, and like so many classic survival horror games, they know that you know the answer, but the game wants you to solve the puzzle anyway, so we have to go and solve this puzzle before the code from the puzzle will actually work. And that comes back around to the 623 that we found on the dice teeth. We're going to use that on a combination lock to get through. So we have this desk, it's got these odd carvings in it. We're just going to dump that blood into the marks, and then we'll use Wei's notebook to make a copy of those markings. And that's our key. Those are numbers and whatever writing system they're using here. I do not believe that's the number system they use in Taiwan. I could be wrong. My knowledge of these things is limited to Japan.
I believe that there's a lot of similarities in the numbers.
Yeah, I know.
And how they're written.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover, I know, between Chinese script and Japanese kanji, including the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But these are not the standard numbers that you would see in Chinese or Japanese. So this may be something that's unique to Taiwan. It could be just for the game. I don't know. I haven't investigated it. So we're going to... We opened the gate. We're gonna come back around here, and we're gonna go through the double doors on the 3rd floor for another hallway. And this little gate here on our left that we were just looking at, if we were doing the glitched run, we would glitch through that, and we would have just skipped like most of chapter 1. So we're gonna go in here. No, we're not. It's locked. And yeah. There's a friend for a big scared.
No!
Look at all those arms to hunt with.
Why do I keep doing horror showcases? I'm terrified of things.
Yeah, this guy is not great, y'all.
We just came down this hallway, and it's so much longer than it was.
Yeah, this is the House of Leaves hallway. It just gets bigger than what it was. We're going to pick up this counseling record. And now we're in Ray's room. Mom threw away a photo. Sounds like Mom and Dad are arguing again. Let's kind of do a little self-reflection. Like, what's going to happen with our lives? Are we going to get stuck in whatever is going on like Mom? Like, will we get to live our life on our terms? Yada, yada, yada. So that's chapter 1. So that's Ray's big thing through the whole game. Like, she just wants to get out and live her life on her terms. Which, given the time period, everything going on in the world at that point, probably not going to happen on top of everything else that's going on in this game. But we're at a different part of the school now. Pretty normal for Asian high schools to have a building that's nothing but classes, and a building that's got all of your extracurricular stuff in it. So all your clubs, all your sports and stuff will be in a totally separate building altogether. So we're in that part of the campus now. And I changed my route for this area completely based on watching some other runners. So I might make a couple of minor routing mistakes here, because my memory is all goofed up compared to what I've been practicing. But our first stop, we're going to come up here to this theater. The projector room is on that other door that we passed. And there's a grave here for some reason, because that's a totally normal thing. We're going to take these incense sticks, because we'll need those for a puzzle in a little bit. Like a lot of survival horror routing, like our main goal in this run is to minimize backtracking. Here is the lantern lingered. We cannot look at him. He is aggressively bisexual. He does not want to be perceived.
Oh, fair. Understandable, sir. Have a nice day.
So we're just gonna let him carry on his way. As long as we don't look at him, and as long as we hold our breath when he comes to give us a little sniff, he will leave us alone. He knows we're there, but we're not causing him any trouble, and he's content to carry on his way. Alright, so now we're in the basement, and there are jail cells down here, and that's not something that you would typically find in a school. But, it is what it is. So there's a couple things we're grabbing down here. This door is locked. We'll come back to that later. First thing we need is the spirit money. We're going to need that to pick up a fan. I'm clicking on items again. Little tiny time losses here and there.
Oh, goodness. Red Candle Games is so good at using atmosphere to create tension, and
yeah, it's unfortunate that the way that we handle sound messes with stereo sound, because the sound design in this game relies a lot on directionals, and it's very, very well done. Alright, so we got our token sword. We need that to get through a door in a couple minutes. And I accidentally held my breath. This is the puppet room. We only need to come in here once, thank God. Puppets freak me out. We'll just walk through all the mannequin bodies. Nothing at all there. We're gonna offer our spirit money to the otherworldly spirits. It's gonna get sucked into the furnace. And the fire went out. And we have this feathered fan in here. And we'll go ahead and leave. And now the spirits and the puppets are doing their thing. And we have to hold our breath and walk through them. If we do not hold our breath and we try to walk through them, they will grab us and we die. Now, the penalty for death in this game is actually very lenient. You have to make a little walk, and you get some lore regarding what killed you, and then it just puts us back at the closest checkpoint. So casually, it's not too bad. For a speed run, it's a massive time loss, but that's about it. So we give the token sword and the feathered fan to the gentleman built into the doors, and they will open the way for us. We're gonna come into the other part of all the extracurriculars. Come in here, and there is a phone, but the phone does not do anything. We're gonna grab the roof key. And we're gonna backtrack. If you were paying attention when we went upstairs the first time, there was a gate in front of the stairwell. That is blocking access to the roof. There's a couple different ways that you can do this part of the chapter. You can go all the way around and grab a bunch of stuff in a different order, or you can just backtrack now and go to the roof. It doesn't seem to matter that much. It's just an order of operations preference. But we're just going to do it this way, because this is what everyone that I watched except Ecthesis does. And if it's good enough for everyone except Ecthesis, it's good enough for me. I should probably go to the roof instead of going to the theater, because I don't have the film yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're going for film, right? On the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I changed up the route after I'd practiced the other route.
What
Who
made
is
you
that girl?
pick up this game?
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
All right. Not sure what that was all about. I got the Bloodstained film. So I bought this game as part of a Steam Winter Sale a while back, and I just decided to play it. And like all very good games that I put off forever, once I played it, I was like, "Oh, this bangs," and then it became like my hyperfixation. And then I realized it was October, so I submitted it. I learned this run specifically for this showcase. This is not something that I really don't speedrun a whole lot of anything anymore. I just don't have the desire for it. But something about this game was just yeah, I need to do this. Right, so that film is part of a puzzle to make one specific phone number work. And it's not the phone number that you think it is. But we'll try that number too. Just so that y'all can't say that we didn't try.
Gotta put on a good show for chat.
Yeah. I'm already way off PB pace, so at this point I'm just kind of my PB is close to an hour, so we've got 15 minutes that I can be doing other stuff. Alright, so let's try the obvious thing first. Well, if you've never seen a rotary phone, you'd have to pick up the phone to dial. So let's call 911. Yeah, that didn't do anything. If you have not gotten the achievement already, you'll get an achievement that makes fun of you for trying to call the emergency services. So instead we're going to dial 025121, which your country appreciates your assistance. That's a little foreboding. And then here comes our mini-armed friend again, and he's going to try to get through the door by force, which is not great. But he doesn't know how doorknobs work. It wasn't locked or anything. He's just not very smart, I guess. Or maybe it's all the paper talismans. Like, you can't get in because of those. This game is very heavily steeped in, like, folklore and religion and mythology for this part of the world. Here's our lantern friend again. He still does not wish to be noticed, so we're just gonna hold our breath, let him do his thing. If we hold our breath too long, we'll just automatically take a breath.
I noticed you could get quite close to him before you had to turn around.
As best I can tell, as long as you are looking at the lantern and you don't get too close to him, if you don't go past the lantern looking at him, he doesn't care. But if you go past the lantern and you're looking like right at his personal business, he does not take. Maybe that's why he's mad, because you're like looking at his crotch. Yeah. Like, that's a little
rude.
Yeah, so that's a little rude. Alright, so we're gonna go over here. There's an 8-track player in this tree, or an 8-track tape rather, which is, you know, a totally normal thing to stick in a tree. This little puppet stage, we'll come back to that in a minute.
Don't worry about the barbed wire on the wall back there. This is a completely normal school.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing to be concerned about. This is pretty normal. I mean, if you went to high school in America in the last 10, 15 years, like, that's actually still pretty normal, unfortunately. This is a little bit of RNG. We just kind of have to play with the lights until eventually Mr. Lantern Guy turns up and does a heckin' spook on us.
Oh. Why does he have to do a heckin' spook? Why can't he not, why can't he do something else? Why can't he just say hi?
I don't know. This is the only, like, really heavy RNG. We just kind of have to sit here and fiddle with this light switch until he decides that he's going to come and say hello in a very aggravating way. Yeah, I was reading the speedrun.com forum, and someone was like, I think I found an RNG manipulation. You just have to do a run through chapter 2 and then restart. It's like, my sibling in Christ, that's not RNG manipulation. That's stupid. Like at that point, can we all just agree to use Cheat Engine to lock the RNG value in place so we can just carry on with our lives? But I digress.
I mean, RNG is gonna RNG.
Yeah. So... yeah! Like, and this part might jump scare me just because, like, it is RNG and there's, like, no discernible reason as to when the lights are going to come back on. So, whenever it does come back on, it may actually genuinely surprise me.
Is there a reason you're clicking, like, slowly-ish?
Because they come on a random amount of time after you toggle them. But it's usually within a second or two, so I'm just trying to entice them to turn on.
This is brutal.
Yeah, I hate it here, guys.
How's everyone doing? You had a good time so far tonight? Got plenty of dark horror already?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the room that we need to put the 8-track tape in, we can't go in that room unless the lights are on, because I guess we can't see the door, which is real silly.
Yeah. Wow.
Hashtag this has never happened before.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of horror, plenty of bisexual literal panic. Thank you, Indy. Well, while we're sitting here, Red Candle Games made this. They're also very famous for their game Devotion, which for a while was taken off of store shelves.
There he is!
There we go.
We don't have to go through him. We can just run away from him.
I just had to start talking about something.
This friggin' jerk. So yeah, Devotion. Banned in China.
Yeah, it wasn't available for sale on any storefront for over a year.
Then they found the Winnie the Pooh picture.
Yeah. But another incredibly culturally specific game in that it depicts temple culture in Taiwan, and it's terrifying.
Jump scare.
I did not like that.
Yeah, sorry. I meant to like warn everyone, but you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, that was another one.
Alright, so we got the other puppet now, and I lost like 2.5 minutes off my PB just flipping that stupid light switch.
That light switch was not helpful. It was not a friend.
No, not at all. Like if I was like making PB attempts, like I would have just Alt F4, like restart. Like that would have been a completely dead run.
Done a playthrough of Chapter 2 and then restarted.
Yeah, alright, so now we're gonna come up here. We're gonna put the hooded figure there. We're gonna put the policeman there. We're gonna do a little diorama. Wow. Political violence. We're gonna grab the basement key. And that is for that door that I mentioned earlier that was locked. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna unlock this door from the outside, not very secure. And now we're at the other side of the first room that we were in. And that's one of the things that you can do, like when you're routing this chapter. You can just go all the way around the first time to go up to the roof, or you can just wait until you do it at the end. Again, it doesn't seem like it makes a whole lick of difference. As long as you don't go in the basement more than once. Because, again, survival horror game, you want to minimize your backtracking as much as possible. So we've used our basement key, and we're in this locked door. And this is a pretty standard utility storage area, but wait. Now we're back in the classroom, and Ray and Wei are talking again. So Ray has come down to Wei's classroom, and they're doing a little study of some forbidden literature. And Wei is comparing Ray to the homeroom teacher that we saw at the beginning, whose name I have already forgotten.
Like, Instructor Bai?
No, not Instructor Bai, the lady.
Okay.
We'll find out in a second. There's 5 whole characters in this game, and I've already forgotten the names of 4 of the 5. Or 1 of the 5. Alright, so, yeah, anyways, we're gonna pick up this list. The paper bag left behind by Y. It's a gun.
That's...
I mean, knowledge is power, they do say.
Gosh. I mentioned the game being political. Banned books is always going to be an issue, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about them and reading them is a core plot point of the game.
Yeah, and again, like, the White Terror period in Taiwan is an actual thing that actually happened that you can actually read about, and it's real messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, teacher is kind of giving Ray the verbal what for. You were gone, none of this would have happened. And we killed someone, maybe. I know
What
that this
happened to
game,
all the mirrors?
7 years bad luck.
That's a
Yeah,
lot of mirrors.
yeah. This game is very like thick with symbolism. Like there's metaphors and allegories. Like if you could play video games for English class in high school, this is the sort of game that my English teacher would have like drooled over, just because there's like so much hidden meaning and interpretation and whatnot. So we're talking to one of the many gods that exist in Eastern religion, mythology, folklore, whatever you want to call it. It's Buddhism. It's pretty different from a lot of Western religion. Just kind of asking them, like, what's going on with our life? Yeah. And will the parents who have been having problems work their crap out? No. Not according to the justice. Is life gonna get better? Nope, it's not. It's our fault. What did he mean by that? He has a very good beard, by the way. So that's chapter 2. A wooden horse on the carousel of life, a jumbled mess of lifeless emotion. Confused with frantic energy, I spin ever faster. That's the sort of angsty prose that a teenager would write in high school. Like, the writing in this game is phenomenal. Like, they really nail, like, what they were trying to portray with the characters. This is
Yeah.
my favorite chapter. We got a little radio here, and we can tune the radio and teleport, time travel, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go to 88 FM first, and we're back in our bedroom. Someone's home. And here's the parents. And this is not a particularly happy household. Not at all. We're a happy household at one point. But we're going to turn off the light. We got this glowy stuff on all the pictures. What did she mean by that? We'll exit out of there. And then we're going to take this filled glass cup with this funny liquid in it. Minor jump scare warning. We're going to have a little ghost domestic violence here. We're just gonna let them figure that out. And we are gonna go to 93 FM.
Oh. Okay.
What?
I wasn't expecting everything to be upside down.
Yeah, that happened. Alright, so we had the funny liquid, and we poured it in that puddle because there's a ghost or something walking around, and we're going to use that to follow this ghost through this door puzzle. And like all the other puzzles, like, yeah, I know which doors to take, but you have to do it the way that they want you to do it, or it just doesn't work, because survival horror games and horror games in general sure do love their event triggers. So we're going to come through here, and now we're in the syringe hallway. I have no idea what the syringes have to do with anything. There's the parents again, sleeping. Not sleeping very happily, but we'll cross that bridge in a second here. This is a really tricky puzzle if you're trying to figure it out on your own, because it has to do with what we saw in the first room. The shapes on the pictures is related to the time. But we're going to set it to 6:45 and 1 p.m. And then the bells are going to start. And alright, Chief. Ray's dad's been doing an adultery. So we're just going to let that happen because we're, a high school senior. That's none of our business. And we're going to go back to 88 FM. To a happier, simpler time. I'm not entirely sure what the significance of this melody with the bells is. Like, I don't know if it's like a traditional song or something, but it's really pretty. It's one of the only, things in this game that makes me joyful. This game does not spark joy. This is a very depressing game.
There is value in very dark games.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorite narrative games I've played in a while. Here is Mr. Chang, and he's received our paper plane. So Ray's been sending him paper planes, and I guess he finally got one. And he's a school counselor. He's trying to figure out how he can help her, but he's also abroad. And because he's been abroad, he has some of them dangerous ideas from the outside world. And that will become relevant a little later, but we want our paper plane back. Because we need that for later on. And we're going to head out of this room. We're going to go back to the kitchen. And there's a new radio station, 103.0. With all the new hot tunes that will take us to the third area, which has the coat room and the movie theater. And this song bangs. We're not going to get to listen to it though, because this is kind of a tricky puzzle. You have to toggle the mirrors on and off to get the guy with the fedora running the same direction you are. I know the solution, so we're not going to deal with that. You just leave 2 and 5 on, and the rest of them go off. And then we can go through this door. And this is the home office at Ray's house, I believe. And then the kitchen, laundry room, utility room. We're going to get this coin out of the coat. And we're going to go back to our bedroom. If you're paying attention in the bedroom, there is a real cute piggy bank in there. And we're going to use him for something. We'll go back to 88 FM. Here's our piggy bank. We're going to drop our coin in the piggy bank. And then we're going to go back to 93, which is the upside down room. And you may have noticed earlier the piggy bank is now smashed on the floor because that's how gravity works. And the coin has turned into a movie ticket.
I wonder who we're going to the movies with.
Back to 103 FM. Yeah, who could we be going to the movies with? Yeah, right, Indy? The first time I played it and I saw the broken piggy bank, I was like, no. Not like this. He's my friend. I love piggy banks. It's one of those things that's if I had the room to collect and hoard something, piggy banks would be a good choice. Alright, so we gave the movie ticket to the gentleman in the box office, and we're gonna go watch our movie. And who do y'all think we're gonna see the movie with? We gonna go with Wei?
Oh, maybe. Wait,
no. No, we're gonna go to the movies with Mr. Chang. Because, why not? Well, why is it all pink? And why... What are you... Right? No!
This is an inappropriate relationship.
Yeah, to be clear, Ray is of age, but teacher-student relationship is still a very bad power dynamic, and I do not condone. We do not stand.
No.
And that point will come up in a cutscene here in a minute. Alright, so there's the guy with the fedora again, the private eye.
That piece of paper you walked past was just a piece of lore, right?
Yes. That is the search warrant for the house. I've been bypassing a lot of lore. This game is very show don't tell. There's a lot of like little pieces of lore that I've been skipping over for the sake of time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that piece of paper is the search warrant. Ray's mom was not stoked about that whole adultery thing, and either reported her husband or framed her husband for something, and the police came and did a heckin' arrest on him and destroyed the house, because that's what tends to happen in martial law jurisdictions when the police have to do something. Or if you live in America. I hate it here.
Search warrants are not warrants to be nice to people's property.
No, it's not. So this distorted Mama Jamma is Mr. Chang again. We're going to give him that assignment book because we've been working on that as part of our counseling. And we're about done being counseled. We're back on track. We're going to graduate and be... No, but we need him apparently. Because we're dumb high school girl with codependency and daddy issues. So naturally we just try to hook up with one of our teachers, because that makes total sense, right? We're going to grab the counseling records from there, because we need those to finish out this chapter. And then that's the ad for the private eye on the floor there. He's a gorilla in the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then we're back in the original hallway before we started doing time travel with the radio. We can now go through the curtain that was locked earlier. And then our life is a play. And we have some more of that angsty teenage prose. Kind of fleshes out exactly what Ray is seeing and feeling.
I'm gonna give her props. She used seething and weeping. That's better than like 90% of teenage pros. So she at least has that going for her.
Absolutely. Like she is intelligent, but she is not smart.
Yeah.
And the white jade deer pendant was, go figure, a gift from Mr. Chang, which that in and of itself is not inappropriate, but the fact that she's putting so much weight on it, not great.
I don't remember. Is it clear whether or not the movie actually happened, or if that was something that she
the movie
wanted?
The movie did happen.
Okay.
Like, they were engaged in some sort of romantic relationship while she was in counseling, and then they stopped when she stopped counseling, and she's angry about it.
Yeah.
And she feels alone and abandoned, and she has no purpose in life. And let's peek through the store.
Hello, new viewers. If you are just tuning in, this is a very mature game with some themes about self-harm, turning people into the police, body horror. So just make sure you exercise caution when you're watching.
Yeah, we are finally wrapping up the whole nonsense with the high school senior dating the guidance counselor, who was also dating the history teacher.
Yeah. It's not great. Back to the eyes. If you need to look away, I'll let you know when you can look back.
And there he is again. Mr. abuses his power. But he just got the old burlap sack over the head, which is probably not great news for him.
If you looked away, you can look back now. um, yes, that imagery shows up quite a lot in this game.
Yeah, this game takes place, again, 1960s Taiwan under the White Terror era of martial law. Yeah, not great stuff. So here's this old guy with that old guy drip. Not too sure who that is. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, we're back in the auditorium, and it looks like this place has seen better days. And here's Ray again doing a heckin' sleep, because that is what she does. And we're also a little bit see-through now, which may or may not become plot relevant here in a second. By the way, these red shrines are our save points, but we don't need them because we're doing a little speed run. Just gonna talk to this black specter here. Life would vanish, but not our guilt. I am you, yet you are not me. What did they mean by that? It's the sin that makes you linger in this realm. What did they mean by that? In a world full of pain and suffering, Bang Ray Sheen, what do you fear the most? And now this is the only part of the game where stuff actually matters for the true ending. So the thing we fear the most for the purpose of true ending is losing myself. If we were not doing true ending, if we were doing any percent, we would choose the fastest option and get a different ending. But we want to be on our own, and we are terrified of losing ourselves, because that's the true ending. And now we've changed places. And now we're in this funny spirit version of the school. And we're going to be bouncing back and forth between this funny spirit version and the what appear to be dilapidated ruins. Talk to our spirit. Lead me anywhere and I will follow you like a shadow. Now, this puzzle doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you play it casually. Because if you're in the room, the shadow won't move. But if you're out here, the shadow will follow you. So we need to get the shadow across that big gap in the floor. So obviously we just... Oh, we can't open the door. That's too easy. So it took me a couple minutes of trial and error to figure this out the first time I played it, but we're just going to kind of make a loop-de-loop by going down the stairs on the right side, going back up the left side, and then our shadow will be on the correct side of the room on the other side of that chasm. So yeah. Just doing a little stroll. There's the entrance to the auditorium. The roll-down door is rolled down. And then there's the phone that we ignored earlier. And then we can talk to our be there as well, but we're not going to do. And if we make the mistake of walking past the door, then the shadow will get out of position and we have to do that full loop again. So
no.
Talk to the shadow. Like we were so excited to be learning. We were such good students. And everyone loved us. And then our home life fell apart. And everyone started second-guessing us. And we chose to escape. The world is immeasurably vast. There's always a place to hide. You are me. Alright, so we're going to go through that door. And it's going to throw us into a cutscene. And we're going to start getting the rest of the picture of what exactly has been happening here. Come over here and... Here's Way. And another guy. And they got a pile of books. And they're talking about throwing spirit money on it to disguise what they're doing. So they're burning their book club books. Why would they be doing that? Yeah, there's actually a cutscene that comes place chronologically before this, but we're doing it in this order because it's a little faster. We're going to come over here, we're going to pick up this verdict from the Quartz. And we'll just kind of slow down, because this is relevant true ending stuff. So, Chang Ming Hui, the counselor, found guilty, along with Wei and a bunch of others, for colluding with the commies. Mr. Chang got put to death, and Wei and all his friends pled guilty to affiliating with the commies, and for reading those banned books, he's going to be in jail for 15 years. That's not great.
Nope.
Yeah, and again, for this stuff, we're going to slow down a little bit. It's true ending. This is what we came to see.
And if you remember, kind of towards the beginning of the game, Ray and Wei were having a conversation about reading the books. So there was kind of a secret book club dedicated to reading these, and Wei and Ray were a part of it.
Yeah,
along with Miss Yen.
Yeah, Ray was briefly. Mr. Chang was sneaking the books into the country. Miss Yen was running it, and then Wei was one of the members. And then we want to remind you all again, not to mention the book club to anyone else. Because that's going to be bad news bears. And we need Wei to get the new books. We gave the list to Mr. Chang. And we cannot use our old shipping company. The government is not stoked about the illegal books. Might have to kill the book club. And everyone does not like that. Mr. Chang never brought us any of these books in the first place. Yeah, that doesn't really hold up when you're getting the car beaten out of you by the Politburo or whatever they have in Taiwan. So yeah, here's Miss Yen. Spent 50 years outside of Taiwan, wanted political fugitive. She ran around the world fighting the good fight, but died of lung cancer. And all she wanted to do is be buried at home. And she couldn't be until they lifted martial law. And it's not really clear about whether or not she actually was able to return home in the end. So that happened. And then there's that guy with the drip again. That is such a good shirt. So we're gonna come down here.
If we're talking about outfits, Ray is still in her school uniform, running around this dilapidated school. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, so snitcher. What does that mean? So we're gonna take the broom out. So yeah, like, if you've been here since the beginning, you can probably start putting together what happened. Ray did a little snitching, and she got stitches. And Mr. Chang got executed. Miss Yen fled the country. Wei and a bunch of classmates got arrested. And here's Mr. Drip again playing the song that we played earlier in Chapter 2. There is a note entry here that spawns after he finishes the song. And then this is a note that seems to be from Wei. Like, talking about the... No, Ray took that leap. Left this world behind. Fear, remorse, and the world's totally different now that he's out. What did they mean by that?
Okapi, did you get a chance to see the post earlier today featuring Ray and the options, the two paths?
I will have to go back and look at it. The only one I saw was the K Duffels avatar that was photoshopped on the title.
I I wanted to point out the word choice on that specific tweet because it says something about surviving a horror game.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it once we're done. So yeah, that little room, we just pop in and out to get to back to the ruins. It's just faster than doing it the other way. So we kind of come over here. Shadow is back. We're going to use the lights to make our shadow stop so that we can interact with it. We go over there, we turn on that light. I forgot to talk to my shadow because I'm too busy trying to explain what I'm doing. Turn off the light so our shadow can get past this light. I'm going to come all the way over here. Talk to our shadow. Act immediately on one's determination. Philosophy he believed in. Someone should take fate into their own hands. That is what Mr. Chang believed. With you following him, what ideas do you hold? We're taking hold of our destiny. That is a charming thought. Life has gained a goal. Next to him, you found yourself. So yeah, maybe we took that whole relationship with Mr. Chang a little too far, but there was some good that came out of it. It did teach us to be more independent, I guess. Like, we just kind of took it a little farther than it needed to go. And here's Instructor Bai again. And here's Ray turning over the book list.
Oh no.
Your country appreciates your assistance. And that takes us full circle back to the very beginning of the game in terms of the narrative. Finding something to rely on would stave off our fear. And of course, when we snitched him out, he got taken away. I don't know what we expected. So what do? With everything gone, we try to take it back. Yeah, so of course we thought that, siding with the government and ratting out everyone would make us better, but no.
It's not like there were massive consequences for doing that or anything.
Yes, it's not like half the class got arrested, one teacher executed, one teacher forced into exile. Like surely the student body would just let that happen.
Yeah, who knows what else would have come out of that, the paranoia that would breed among classmates.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're following Mr. Drip. He's smoking his cigarette. Don't smoke, it's not cool, it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we think that guy could be, based on the note that we saw earlier?
Who knows? Is it Wei?
It could be. Here's a yellowed paper plane. And that is the last object that we need for our true ending. We answered all the questions correctly, we got all the optional stuff. And now we're in the epilogue. And we're going through the whole arrest sequence. Smuggling banned books and organizing illegal gatherings. Mr. Chang sure has been busy. Rescue on the grounds of
activities.
Do not resist on pain of death. They're gonna execute you anyway. You might as well go out. And he's just kind of thinking out loud now. We're in another cutscene where nothing matters. I can just sit here and talk. He's kind of resigned to his fate. He knows what's coming. Ray knows what's coming. Vain like the daffodils, fixated on my grandiosity. That is a Chinese proverb if I ever heard one. And fade to black. But not time yet. I still have to play through the Truman and Bug.
先染上一盒鲜血，只能如铁锈般凋零。
So yeah, all that happened. And now we're coming back. But guess what, gamers? Not ready this time.
Nope.
It's time for our Metal Gear Solid 4 moment. Oh snap, here comes that boy. It's Old Way. And he got that drip. So that's the bridge from the beginning of the game. And we're just kind of walking through the ruins of the school now that we've been released from prison. And we'll take a look. Because there's some additional lore from Way's point of view in our inventory. Now, barred from the heavens and hampered from the underworld. Alone and wandering forever she goes. What did she mean by that?
Oh, no.
This is as good a point as I need to bring up the notebook and look at our lore. So here's our amnesty certificate. Wei has been pardoned. At this point in history, the White Terror is over, and the courts decided that maybe reading books isn't illegal after all, so they just kind of expunged his record and let him out of prison. And so, like, doesn't matter what I was feeling, only pain and sadness remain. That is basically how prison works under martial law. And then here's the note that we saw earlier. We'll talk about what all that means. Hasn't heard from Miss Yen in a while, but he did hear that she had passed away, and didn't actually believe it until he was able to see it. And he's not stoked about it, as one is when you find out that your favorite teacher passed away. And there's the burial article again. 15 years of my life were taken away by a piece of paper. And still clearly remember when the military police came knocking and carried me off in front of my mother. Little did I know that was the last time I would see her face. Scary stuff. And there's Mr. Chang's verdict again. And then Mom passed away, Dad not stoked about it, but tried to like keep himself going. A note from his dad. It's kind of keeping him up to date on what's going on at home, and trying to keep the spirits up. And then just kind of just resigned to his fate. But he survived, and they just let him out. But he can't get back those years that he was stuck in prison.
How unbelievably cruel.
And again, that's a real thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
Like, and it ended a lot more recently than I thought, too. I was doing a little bit of research on it. Like, the White Terror was going, like, up through the 80s. Like, which is, like, not something that you would, you wouldn't think that, like, that level of, like, human rights violations would be happening outside of places like Africa and the Middle East that are, just perpetually at war with one another for whatever reason. But that's a heavy topic that we don't need to get into here.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's very specific reasons, actually. But yeah, it's honestly kind of terrifying how easily people slip into like the herd mentality and are stricken by panic and things like
And-
the White Scare happens.
Yep, and that's kind of what happened with Ray. Like, she got upset about something, got caught up in the moment, and in a moment of poor judgment, consigned a bunch of her classmates and 2 of her teachers to death. And her classmates, in return, bullied her until she unalived herself. And this entire time, we have been navigating Ray through purgatory. She's just been stuck in limbo. And only now in the true ending, where she has taken responsibility for what she has done, is she able to move on. And time is now. It's actually when Wei turns to sit, but whatever. Right on my estimate. That's banger. And then, one last time, they sit together in the classroom. And then this song is really beautiful. But yeah.
Again, Red Candle Games audio is amazing.
Absolutely. This game is a very good example of show, don't tell. If you enjoyed watching me, blast through it, knowing exactly where to go and what to do, minus a few routing hiccups, I highly recommend, picking it up and playing it for yourself. There's a lot of really interesting lore, the world that they built with what they had. It's really interesting. It's a really heavy story. And like I said, it goes to some dark places. But, yeah, we made it there together. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to show this off as part of the Halloween festivities for the month of October. So yeah, I don't speedrun. This is one of the few times you'll probably see me do a speedrun on Lady Arcaders. Normally I'm playing rhythm games. Speaking of rhythm games, my next On the FM showcase is it's the first Thursday in November, I think. I'm not sure of the dates. I'd have to double check. It's soon. Just watch the Lady Arcaders calendar. We're taking a look at B Music Source this time, which I talk about a lot in my showcase appearances, but have not gotten to show off in a showcase setting yet, so I'm pretty stoked for that. They're probably going to throw the shout out to my Twitch channel in the chat, but if you're not following me on Twitch, it is Okapi573. If you want to follow me on Blue Sky, it is also that handle. And if you go to Okapi, the number 2DX on Linktree, that will take you to all of my other socials. I no longer have Twitter. Well, I do have Twitter, but I'm not actively using it. I'm just camping on my handles in case the guy who owns the website stops being a jerk and I return to the platform. But for right now, if you want to see me on social media, Blue Sky is the place to go. It is 1:20 a.m. and I have to go do blood work in the morning, so I'm gonna go do something that's not play video games in front of people. Y'all have a lovely night, and we'll let Critique take us home.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for this amazing showcase. It's such a dark game. I'm so glad we got to show it off.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it as always.
Stick around for some closing announcement and our raid target. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. This was a very special double feature Halloween attract mode. Up first we had Miss Scarlet Tanager playing through Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented, and then we had a special treat with Okapi going through Detention, True Ending, Glitchless. It was such a nice night for some horror. And I'm so glad that we are ringing in the end of October with such special showcases. Just a few quick announcements. We have some showcase openings for November. If you are interested in showing off a game or you have a submission that maybe you want to submit to another event, please let us know. When you submit your showcases to attract mode, which you can do through our website. Other than that, it has been so much fun hanging out with you tonight, but that's it. We're done for the day. Stick around for the raid. We're gonna go check out Cassidy Rose Frost. Thank you so much and see you next time.